On a specified
1,000. Now playing.
Or news of the week, I guess. So if every one of us brought a story. Danielle!
Hi.
I thought you took a nap today.
I did. That's why I can't be tired.
If we all brought one story, then that would all contribute to a segment for the week. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It could be funny. It could be serious. Doesn't matter. No rules on the story. I thought, rather than doing, reading the whole news story, like front to back, that maybe it might be more involving of everybody if, like, you just read your headline, and then we can all just start asking questions. And you can kind of, from the article, try to answer those questions from there. What do you guys think about that?
Like we talked about it, I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just so we're all not like, because in the past we've done it, like someone will be reading and then people will be on their phones because they don't have to talk because it's a long article and you kind of, now I get a break for a little bit. But like, let's try not to do that. Let's try to make it like more interactive and just see how it goes.
Sounds good.
All right.
I have nothing, just FYI, because I didn't know.
Oh, then
Slacker.
I'm going to ask.
Bob has a bunch.
I'm going to ask Cory to go first because Cory is really excited about the story that he's got, and apparently none of us are going to need to read our story after he reads his.
Well, I didn't say that.
You did. You're like, I'm going to blow your fucking doors off with the story.
I'm also kind of happy that Joe's here for this one too, because this makes things kind of come full circle with.
I already know.
Something that we've talked about.
Don't involve me.
Several times in the past.
Okay. So in the meantime, while he's doing that, Danielle, I'll send you one.
Oh, like I can look up something.
No, I got one for you.
Okay.
I would actually love to hear you.
You're gonna like
read
this.
All right. We'll have to come up with a name for the segment.
News?
How
about news?
I think we talked. What are we better at? Booze news?
It was booze with news. Something along those lines.
News of booze.
We just did the shot to open up the segment, so
yeah,
that was the idea, to do a shot.
Hopefully we're not doing a shot to open up every segment, or they'll have to pour us into the car after we're done.
No, not before every article, just before the segment.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just giving you guys the title, and you guys are guessing what happened. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah. So if you, here's my thought. Maybe it's going to completely backfire, but I'm like, why not give it a shot? If you read the headline, and then we'll kind of respond to that and start asking questions, and then you can sort of reveal the details of the story.
All right.
And maybe your answer will be to read like the first two paragraphs or whatever.
Sounds good.
All right.
So the headline of this article is G.G. Allen.
Fuck. Are you kidding me?
A rock and roll suicide.
Telling you guys.
So there's also a notice for this title of this article. This post is not for everyone, especially women and kids.
Wow, okay, so we're an explicit podcast, but I think what you're saying here is any women and any children who are listening might want to
earmuff
it, yeah.
I mean, it's
turn the volume down for a few minutes.
Yeah, I might want to
skip ahead.
You might want to skip
3 or 4
forward.
minutes.
Send the kids to bed.
That would probably do.
All right.
So clearly, obviously, given in the article,
yeah.
G.G. Allen committed suicide.
I did not know that, but your headline told me that he did.
Yes, but there's some disturbing facts about the points leading up to it and the aftermath, such as his funeral, that are quite disturbing.
Okay.
So I'll let you guys take guesses from there. Let's start with this. How do you think he committed suicide?
Choking on his own feces.
That is quite the guess, and a very good guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to guess he was straining so much on the bowl that he had a heart attack and fell over.
Do you want me to actually answer this?
Well, because I know. Because you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I already saw the article. So
that's right. I did share it with you.
It's cheating.
It was 2 weeks ago.
But she just admitted that she's already seen it, so she's not trying to answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm not going to cheat.
Sorry.
I took my guess.
So, he after a show, he went on a huge heroin binge and died in the streets of New York.
He died of what? Like
a heroin overdose.
Okay. Overdosed on the streets.
Yes. Not to me, that's something that He didn't even make it to a hotel or his house, just in some back alley in New York, he OD'd.
Okay.
So obviously, after someone passes, you're going to have a funeral for him, correct?
Unless you're G.G. Allen.
Oh no, they had a funeral for him.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, now was he American born?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's Southern, I think, right?
Okay.
Tennessee,
From the
Kentucky,
South.
maybe,
All right.
Virginia.
All right.
Yeah.
So were all of his former bandmates there?
They were. One
Okay.
of them being his brother.
Okay.
And they had some special requests for how he was presented. If there's any possible way you could think that G.G. Allen was presented in his casket, how do you think that might start out?
Covered in feces.
So,
Like
knew
a
that was
Jackson
coming.
Pollock painting.
A little bit worse, actually.
Okay.
His brother's request was for him to not be cleaned,
Unwashed.
What?
completely unwashed,
From the moment of his death?
from the moment of his death when he was found in a New York alley.
And since he overdosed on heroin, I almost assume that he hadn't just recently showered because he was doing heroin.
No, and there's a picture included in the article.
Oh.
And he probably released his bowels when he died. And most people, when they die, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Again. Yeah.
He also has blood still dripping down his face and a black eye. And apparently he also wore a jockstrap for a lot of his performances that
Why?
he wrote "Eat Me" on the front of it. And that is what he was buried in.
The jockstrap?
As you can see right here.
No, I know, but most of the time he was nude.
Well, yeah.
Pissing and shitting everywhere.
But apparently there were several performances that he wore this jockstrap. And yeah, he was buried in that and his leather coat with a bottle of Jim Beam, a silver microphone, and then pictures of him with what?
Feces.
There you go. All posted inside his casket. And they said it smelled quite horrendous in that entire room for those several days.
Several days.
Several days, yes.
Okay.
So I'd be scrolling through here real quick, see if there's any other.
Bigger than Elvis.
Nick, do you know what the most disturbing part of this news story is?
What's that?
That I just realized to my dismay how closely and intertwined G.G. Allen is with our podcast.
I hope this is the end of it.
The mascot.
I hope the death funeral story,
Brings a
with
close?
much like with his life, brings a close to this conversation.
You
Or
know,
topic.
I'm with you.
you know what though? It's so unbelievably like
Disgusting?
that you can't not.
Yes, you can.
No, you really want to know more.
No, you
No.
don't. No,
you don't even know.
So
Right.
So you're
And
like
I don't
you're
need
relating,
to.
You're relating it to like a traffic accident. You know it's going to be horrible, but you want to look at it.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So the ending of this here was at his funeral. Allen's bloated, discolored corpse was dressed in his black leather jacket and trademark jockstrap. He had a bottle of Jim Beam with him in his casket, as per his wishes. As part of his brother's request, the mortician was instructed not to wash the corpse, which smelled strongly of feces, or apply any other makeup. The funeral home became a wild party.
He had like a black eye too.
What do you mean when you say became a wild party? Are there any details as to this party?
Not in this article. I'm assuming it was just...
I would think you'd want the party to happen as soon as possible and anywhere but there.
But they're paying.
Paying what?
It's just like you ever watch any like biker or motorcycle club documentaries? These guys go fucking nuts, but they're paying, and so they're like, all right.
You mean paying for the funeral?
Yeah, well, they're paying for the space to show the body and all
It's
that.
probably the families
I mean,
paying for that. All the people that attended are not.
But
Not
any-
like a entrance fee.
to
Do you charge cover at his funeral?
to
That would be
have-
amazing.
To have a funeral in a funeral home, you're paying, and if things get damaged, you're paying, and if this is happens, you're paying. So I mean, these guys.
If there's right, but
I mean,
assuming
like,
I'm
there's
sure
no
the
damage.
damages are
Think of it like
If
this,
they're going to
okay.
party, they're not going to party in a funeral home that smells like shit.
Huh? Okay, let me. Sorry
But
to
it's
interrupt,
GGM,
Cory, but
so
let
I
me
could
use
be
this as
completely-
an example. Now, like when the Who was doing all their shit back in the late '60s and '70s, Keith Moon went fucking apeshit in every hotel that he stayed in. These hotel managers or owners or whatever knew that the Who was coming, and they have to have known what he did to
Hotelman.
Hotelman. I'm sorry. concierges.
Hotelier.
Concierges.
Concierge.
They had to have known, but they knew they were going to pay for it. So go ahead, bust the shit out of our room, throw the television out the window, and you're going to pay for it.
But there's
They
no
knew it was-
incentive to have the
Different.
party where the bloated feces,
No.
smelling
Body.
corpse
Yeah.
is.
There-
Go to the hotel that's right next to the
When
funeral
I-
where
when
you
I-
stayed
when
when you
I-
flew into town.
Well, when I first brought up Gigi Allen on the podcast, there's
Remember that day.
a documentary.
Dark day in history.
Yeah, right.
Terrible.
There's
Terrible day in
There's
history.
a documentary
Wake up in
about him,
sweats.
and there was footage that some guy followed him around with a camcorder, like maybe a week or a few days before his death. He went into some shithole garage in New York City to throw a concert. The concert lasted about 2 minutes, like not even fully into a song. They shut it down because shit went so fucking wild. He went apeshit, took off down the road, and this guy's following him the whole time. He's like, I'm gonna get fucked up tonight. He's going nuts. Gets in a cab, drives off. That was the last footage of him alive. That's how fucking nuts this guy was. Absolutely fucking nuts. Like, he didn't care.
I feel
really
like
didn't care.
I feel like at some point there was kind of like a Weekend at Bernie's situation with Gigi Allen's corpse.
Hold the boat!
Yeah, they were like, "Whoa, Gigi!"
No.
I guarantee it. He's all
right.
I'm here to sing with
I am ready for anyone to go next. Anyone. I sent it to you, dude.
My phone's over there.
Hey, go get your phone.
It's on airplane mode. You said to shut off the... Or is that because of Jack?
It's because it's good practice,
No.
but, you know,
It's over there. I don't feel like it.
you don't... Okay.
I'll come up with something. Let me see. Go ahead, Danielle.
Danielle, you want to... did
I just
send-
read. I got it.
I
I just
did
read the
send-
headline.
Yeah, just read the headline and we'll take it from there.
Okay. The rise and demise of the Air Pass. Is it a Air Pass? American
Airlines, it's a cutesy name for the program.
250K lifetime ticket.
Okay, so American Airlines had a promotion for a $250,000 lifetime ticket.
Correct.
Why don't you read the first paragraph?
Okay. 3 decades ago, 28 lucky bastards. That's in there. Managed to
Nice.
snag
Lucky
the
bastard.
greatest level travel deal in history, courtesy of American Airlines. It was dubbed the Unlimited A Air Pass. So for a one-time fee of $250K, the pass gave a buyer unlimited first-class travel for life. A companion pass could be purchased for an additional $150,000, allowing the pass holder to bring along anyone for the ride.
Wow.
Okay, so if you're
not a bad
like
deal.
22 years old,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to have $250,000.
Right.
And you're probably not going to be able to take a loan out for $250,000.
Just for air flight.
But let's say you're someone in your family's got some money.
Mm-hmm.
How can you, at 22 or let's say 25 years old, how can you get a hold of 250 grand?
Sell drugs.
Ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Aside from like inheritance or something like that, I mean, how would you? I mean, I couldn't get a hold of it right now.
Nor could I. Nor have I at any point in my life ever been able to.
Oh, I could.
Yeah? All right.
Man, this
Screw
one
that
guy
guy.
really banked on it too.
I'm just trying to think of, this was back in, when did this start? What year was this? For the promotion?
I think 19.
That's too bad that it's not like, you know, anyone could use it. Then we could just get
1980s, it
250
says.
friends to put in
19,
$1,000.
well, it says 80s.
Right.
No 250 people.
I don't know what the cost of a first class plane ticket on American Airlines was in
I don't
1980,
either.
but, I
Yes,
mean,
that's
it's
the
an
early
unlimited
80s.
ticket, right? So it means for
Yeah.
the rest of your life, you could fly every day of the week.
Right.
And you got to think it's probably
Well,
since the 80s. It's got to be closer to 400.
it says this one
For
guy,
today.
he's taken over
Probably.
10,000 flights in 25 years. And it said he took hundreds of trips to New York, LA, San Francisco. He went to London sometimes
Oh,
a dozen times per month.
Does it?
Where
Right,
did-
because he could.
Right.
Because there's no money. Money doesn't matter anymore.
Where is
He
London?
flew to Ontario just to get a sandwich.
Well, yeah,
Because
you might
why
as well.
not?
Right, exactly.
If you can just get on a plane without paying for it that day,
I want to go to Singapore. Why? No reason.
you
Right.
better believe every day off. Even if you still had to work,
Right.
every day off, I would just be like, well, where can I fly to?
Well, but what's the
Yeah.
price of a ticket to London?
London, I don't know. Fuck you.
I love how 3 people at the podcast said London after you said that, and she
You
breathed
could
right
wake
past
up
it.
at 7 in the
No,
morning.
I heard all of you.
Because she knows you hate her.
Turn those headphones up.
You could
Demon
wake
came
up.
out in her.
You could wake up at 7 in the morning
Okay,
in Dearborn. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Fly down to Florida during the winter. Get on a plane at 8 o'clock. Fly down to Florida. Play a round of golf.
Fly
and
back
fly
at night.
back.
Right.
Sure.
And make work.
Yeah, the world is your
Well,
oyster,
that's
literally.
So the guy I was telling you about, he also had like the companion pass, and it said on occasion he would just give it to a complete stranger at the airport.
Why not?
Right, but it said so.
Thank you.
He's taken 1,000 flights to New York, 500 to San Francisco, 500 to LA, 500 to London, 120 to Tokyo, 80 to
That's
Paris,
him?
80 to Sydney, and 50 to Hong Kong.
How
Because
old
why
is he-
not?
How old is he now?
How old is he now?
Dead.
Old. They don't give me his age.
How old does it say? How old what he was when he bought the pass?
No, but it looks like this was another person. I think the 2 people are that they talk about in the article are the 2 that have used it the most.
Okay.
The second guy took out a loan
Yeah, that's
for
the way to
at
go.
12% for 5 years to get it, but he paid off the loan and has been using.
Well, so yeah, what were the rules? Does it say anything about what the rules were to gift your ticket, not the companion ticket, but your ticket, or just give it to anybody
It didn't. I
Or
don't
let's
see
say sell it
anything
to
about
them.
that.
to pay your loan off?
And I have a question too. I might have been in the bathroom. When did this happen?
No, you were in
1980.
1980.
Okay, so in the 80s when flying was still
In its infancy.
and enjoyable, maybe.
The
Nowadays,
peanut bags were bigger.
nowadays you couldn't pay me to fly that. Well, you could, but depending how much it was. But dude, like, seriously, like
Right
back in the
away,
80s, you'd walk through. Your family could meet you
I
right
couldn't
there.
even.
Now
I don't
flying
think I
is a
took a
pain in
flight
the
until
ass.
the mid-90s.
Flying's really.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it though
Flying's
too.
a
If
pain
you-
in the ass.
Well, yeah, but you can also get the pre-check or whatever that.
TSA.
Oh, where you
where
just
you can just
be
walk
on-
right on. So,
but that's
if you're-
not. It's not all the time. Like sometimes it's closed when you get there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't have enough people to, and you gotta.
And
like
isn't
a
there
schmuck, like go in line with everybody
it'd
else.
still be worth
Isn't
it.
there
I mean,
also like a speed pass at
Disney World.
whatchamacallit,
Oh, mobile.
where you go through the metal detector?
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
TSA,
Yeah.
don't they have one of those where it's like
You're,
they
you're,
fly all
you're,
the
you're,
time?
you're pre-checked.
So I don't have to take my belt and my shoes off.
Well, listen to this.
That is 90% of waiting in the airport.
I know that, but it's not.
Because-
It's the flying part too. You don't get meals anymore. Sorry, Daniel. Go ahead.
But he's first class.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
first.
so you're eating meals in first class.
All right,
and
that's
back
it.
then you got like a roast turkey
Right. Okay, I didn't hear
with like
that.
a split of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had some
Is that
guy.
what you got?
Yeah.
You had some guy
That's what you got.
taking the big silver lid off and all the hot.
Yes. That's what you got.
Oh my God, is that hot?
I could feed a family of 12 with this turkey.
Yes.
Hot smells so
I'm just
good.
gonna
I'm
take a little
throwing away. I'm throwing away food for a family of 6 because I can't fit it on my tray.
We can only
Sorry,
fly
Daniel, go ahead.
15
So
people
these
because of all
guys-
the turkeys.
We have so many goddamn turkeys on this
The
flight.
2 guys I told you about that used them so much, American Airlines found reasons why to take their passes away from them because they were costing them so much money.
What were the reasons?
So what they ended up
Because they're
doing,
flying every 2 hours.
yeah, what they ended up
Oh, you
doing was
again.
saying that
Right.
they where'd it go?
I work an 8-hour
They
shift.
said it
See
was
this guy
fraudulent
4 fucking
activity,
times.
so they
Fraudulent
stopped
activity.
both. It was in 2008,
So they've been doing this for
Do I
already
have to
20
pat you down?
years.
right?
Okay.
So it said they were both stripped of their passes and told they'd never fly on the airline again. So they filed lawsuits against American Airlines.
Well, yeah.
As
was
I
it-
would too.
Was it within reason, like a reasonable excuse to?
It just said that they categorized them as fraudulent activity,
It makes it
and
sound
they
like they're just
formed
trying
an
to.
elaborate
very
operation
broad.
to take down.
Yeah, they were just upset that these people actually bought into it, and
Yeah.
American Airlines had to pay out for it.
Right.
So they finally started realizing oh, when these guys fly, we're losing a lot of money.
Well, apparently too, it
I
says
mean-
the one guy made 3,000 reservations in a span of 4 years and canceled 2.5 of them.
Oh, that's what they're.
Yeah.
That's not fraudulent though.
Right, it's not. And then the other guy apparently booked flights for strangers and allegedly accepted payments for tickets on certain occasions.
Ah.
That's what I was wondering. Like, can you book a flight for somebody else and then gift them your ticket?
I'm gonna say definitely no.
And then back then,
Yeah.
like nowadays, if somebody doesn't make their flight, they resell the seat like instantly. I don't think they
Oh,
did that
yeah.
back then.
Yeah, so the two of them
'Cause they
never
don't-
got
you don't have
Probably
the,
not
the
as
internet.
much for sure.
they never got their passes back. Because then it said in 2011 they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Who did?
American Airlines.
Oh, okay.
Because of this guy.
But they're
It's
still
like a 20 years
I
of
took
like,
him down.
the fact that one guy took 10,000 flights, I think that's a big testament to the safety of air travel.
Right.
That he flew 10,000 times and is still alive.
well, I guess
Never crashed.
they have a third customer who they've taken the pass away from. So there's 25 people still that have a valid pass, and
Really?
Mark Cuban is one of them.
Of course.
Oh, fuck Mark Cuban.
I bet he.
Douche.
I wonder if he bought it from somebody.
No, he got it back in the 80s.
He did?
He said it was the best money he ever spent.
What did the first guy do for a living? Did they say what he did?
He was a pizzaman.
Well, no, you
Top notch.
know these guys had money
It's
like you
fucking
wouldn't
pizza,
believe, and they're bored.
All they want is
They're
respect.
bored.
One guy
That's
took
all
out
they
a
wanted
loan,
to do.
so-
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're just
Second
they're
mortgage
bored,
on your
yeah.
house.
Yeah, if you were a pizzaman at the time, you were probably young, so you could really capitalize on that.
Nick, Mun.
Right?
There's actually a guy that works
Hey.
at Susie's in Hamtramck that kind of does the same thing with his airline credit card. Like, he knows all the loopholes and ins and outs of, like, he can travel. He'll go to China for the weekend, and it'll cost him $100. But every time he goes to the airport, like, he's in the whatever the first class, like, lounge and all that, and he has access to all that and free booze and everything. And he's just figured out the system. Like, I mean, yeah, he still has to pay for it, but it's nowhere near like if you or I were to go and book that same ticket, it'd be
Right.
several $1,000s. He's just gotten to the point now where he knows all these little ins and outs to make that $1,000 ticket a $100 ticket.
Right.
Which, I mean, kind of along the same lines of this, just doing a little more legwork rather than just being, oh yeah, here's $250,000.
So yeah, if you really played the system right and you got the like American Airlines credit card and you purchased all your gas every time you fill up the car and then you just paid in cash, you know, you paid it off, you're not paying any kind of interest or anything like that, then you're just constantly getting points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. He has so many points. Like he actually planned a trip while we were at Susie's the one day. And was just like, oh yeah, look, here I'm going to Taiwan tomorrow and coming back a day later. Like, why would you do that? He's like,
There's this noodle I want to try in Taiwan.
yeah, he's like, it's because it's only $50. I'm like, what the? How do you? And then he's trying to like start breaking it down. I'm like, I'm not. I don't travel that much.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
downside, he's
Yeah.
on the plane for like, you know,
Oh, it's a long ass flight. Yeah.
14 hours, whatever it is.
Right.
Well, I mean, for $50, why not?
Trust me.
Because have you been in one seat for 14 hours? It totally sucks.
I've slept for 14 hours, so yes, I could do.
No.
Right.
Not in an uncomfortable chair.
Drug yourself up.
No.
Could easily do.
You're
it.
too much of a princess.
All it's
Hey.
called is 2 shots of Jack and NyQuil.
That's
Oh,
right.
dude, I was
you
so
right out.
hungover when I flew home from Europe the last time.
Yeah.
An 8-hour flight, slept the whole fucking way. Woke up basically to them descending into Detroit Metro.
That is what I think
That's how
everyone flying from Europe
Hungover I was.
aspires to do.
Yeah.
But they just don't time it right with the booze or with
Didn't
the
even
seat
need
goals,
drugs. So hungover. I slept the whole fucking way. Well, I woke up for one meal, ate it, and went right back to sleep.
All right, are you going to try to read your story there?
I will.
All right, Joe.
I forgot I had
Thank
my
you,
phone.
Danielle. That was
You're-
awesome.
You're welcome. It was very interesting.
Good pop-ups. All right, so
Hey, just give us the headline. and let's
how
see.
a janitor at Frito-Lay, invented
Okay.
Pretty well, right?
Frito-Lay invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Okay, so he's a janitor at Frito-Lay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it was definitely on accident.
That's what I was gonna say. He didn't do it on purpose.
You don't think he was a closet?
Richard
Cheeto expert?
Montanez
No.
went from cleaning toilets to being one of the most respected execs in the food
Oh, God.
industry.
I got it. Something about cleaning toilets contributed to the ingredients of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
I don't know about that.
Something in the
respected?
bleach / scrubbing bubbles
Scrubbing bubbles.
made those Cheetos hot as a mofo. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna dumb it down even more than that, and just say
Yours was
He-
dumb, but I'm going to get even dumber.
he just happened to take Cheetos and he likes hot things, so he poured a bunch of Franks in the bag, shook it up, and started eating them.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And that people were like, oh my god, that's an amazing idea. And they found a formula how to make flaming hot Cheetos.
Okay, I would even give it to you if it was some derivative of that where he took like smoked paprika and red pepper
Yeah,
flakes.
it doesn't necessarily have to be French.
Cayenne pepper, right. I give it to you.
Some sort of seasoning. He just mixed it on his own because he liked hot stuff.
Right, okay, Joe. Give it to us.
Kind of. But basically, he was a janitor and he made $4 an hour back in the day, blah, blah, blah. He couldn't read or write until he was 18. Basically, he saw that Frito-Lay didn't have any products that catered to Latinos.
Okay.
So basically, that's all it was. He wanted. No, I'm
So he
serious.
just went to an executive and was like, hey,
He had. Well,
It's-
yeah.
at some point,
that's
it's going
what
to be
it
like,
was.
here's how he did it.
No, that's what it was. He said that there were no products that catered to Latinos,
Right.
which were spicy,
And-
fiery
and
Mexicans.
so he just
Whatever.
stated that?
fiery Mexican.
Like
Well, no, he brought it to the CEOs and
Okay.
the heads of the thing.
Hold on, how did he get the audience with the CEO? Were they in the shitter at the time? And he's like, come on, I gotta clean it. By
No,
the way,
well-
before you leave the bathroom.
No, he worked for him, and then I think he probably brought it to his branch manager thing, and then they.
The branch manager.
I don't know.
It's not the office.
But that's all it is.
Like he's assistant to the
This
branch
is
manager?
what you sent me. This is my news. He wanted something hot. He said, "Guys, make something hot." They made something.
That's a terrible story.
That's the news. Nick,
I thought
over to you.
I have one. I couldn't follow that.
Tonight, I'm gonna reread that story. I guarantee you there's more to it than that.
No, there's really not.
Dude, he had
I mean,
like
he made
added-
phone
You want me to send
calls
you one?
and battled, but
Story?
that's pretty much it. That was it.
I thought for sure he added his own ingredient to it.
No, he didn't come up with
Oh, that's horseshit.
He didn't come up with the recipe.
Oh, that's
No,
Bob. Come on.
I guarantee you there's more to it than that.
no
There better
there's
be.
not. There really isn't, Bob.
All right, well now you're giving me.
He recruited his wife to help him fill out the job application. When he broke the news to his family, his grandfather imparted pieces
I
of
found
some-
how it happened.
Well, how did it happen?
Okay,
'Cause
come
it
on,
doesn't say
Danielle.
this here.
Come on, save the day.
It says one day a machine in the assembly line broke down and a batch of Cheetos didn't get their usual dusting of cheese powder.
I don't have that in here.
So he took them home and instead of
Picking-
eating them plain, he
picking
added chili
grapes.
powder.
Yeah, see that?
There it is.
Whoa. So he put chili powder out of a bottle, did not come up with a recipe, okay, and then brought that to the company to.
Yeah, but chili powder's not hot unless it's like.
No, exactly.
Unless it's not
So he
actually-
went like it's like adding pepper to something. Hey, I got a new fucking recipe because you fucking poured pepper
unless
on
it's
it.
like not the chili powder we know, but like chile powder, like powdered chiles, like
Well, yeah.
some kind of
If he's a
Hispanic, right?
Hispanic dude, then I'm sure he had some sort of his
Eh,
own.
It's kind of generalizing Hispanics, but
But that's like the ketchup flavored
if he's a
potato
Hispanic
chips.
dude,
Are
he's
like,
gotta have chili.
oh, I wish more
Hey,
shit
he was
tasted
also
like
a
ketchup.
janitor,
I put ketchup
so-
on my fucking potato chips. Hey, ketchup flavor. That's basically what it was. It's like putting hot sauce on your food does not make you like this innovative.
So basically,
Genius.
the machine broke down. They didn't get their normal dusting,
Correct.
and
he
they
added chili
they probably were like, "Hey, we can't sell these. We're going to give these away to the employees." And he probably took some home and added his own stuff.
No, not his own stuff.
Just chili
Store bought cayenne pepper
Chili
They didn't
powder.
do
or
say
chili
that.
powder. I'm sorry.
It was probably his own.
No, it wasn't.
Maybe it was Comet. Maybe he added Comet to it.
This guy's a hack. Yeah, exactly.
This guy's a hack.
Is that barkeeper's friend that you have?
Okay.
Look, she's scoping. She's trying to get me.
Always trying to get Joe.
All right, Nick, I'm going to send this one to you.
It
because-
definitely says it in the article.
But it's not like no, but it's not like some recipe that he came up with. I saw that right before those things.
Mexican street corn. That's how we got the idea.
But
If you read the article,
But putting pepper on something does not make you this like, hey, oh my god, he came up with this new recipe. I could dump hot sauce on anything. It's not like, hey, my pancakes. I want spicy pancakes. I'm gonna fucking add hot sauce to them. Oh my god, he's groundbreaking.
I'm just
Yes.
saying it said it in the article.
Okay, but
Clearly an
it's not.
executive
It's not.
Cheetos
Like, but it's not like
Frito-Lay.
a. But it's not
Okay, so
a.
this-
It's not a recipe.
So this one
Just
is
put it on
also relates to flying. This says it's the worst sales promotion in history. 27 years ago, Hoover offered 2 free international flights with any 100-pound purchase.
President Hoover?
J. Edgar.
Oh, J. Edgar.
Today it remembered
Vacuum guy?
it's remembered as the worst sales promotion in history. In late 1992, the UK branch of the vacuum manufacturer Hoover offered an impossibly sweet promotion. If a customer bought any product worth £100, he'd get 2 free round trips flights to the United States. For the 84-year-old electronics brand, it was meant to be an eye-catching way to boost dwindling sales, escape the gloom of recession, shrug off, and increase competition.
We haven't guessed anything yet.
Instead,
That's the whole article. Oh!
Instead, it led to the destruction of the company, a precipitous downfall that saw multi-million-dollar losses and customer revolts. Okay, so to guess, how are we guessing that this happened?
So you had to buy 100 pounds of.
Hoover.
So which is what, like
100 pounds is-
250 American dollars or something like that?
I don't know if it was that high at the time, but it was
Something, yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
150, 160
Yeah,
American
so
dollars worth of Hoover
It
products.
was a decent expenditure of money for a household at the time, but you're buying something that's going to probably last for 4 or 5 years.
And you got what out of it?
Hoover vacuum
You got 2 tickets to the U.S.
and 2 tickets to the U.S.
2 round tickets to the United States, airplane tickets.
Okay, well, yeah, back then that's way more than 200 or 100 pounds, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So that's clearly how it blew up on them. Was everyone went out and bought a vacuum, and they had to buy,
but
and
they
they
were
had to give
probably
away
counting on very few people putting
Buying
the
that
money-
yeah.
and buying the vacuum.
I mean, and then back then too. I mean, how many people would have the chance to fly from overseas to the U.S.
From the UK, right?
Yeah. So of course people are going to take that offer.
So this is 1992. Not too far long ago, but
No, it wasn't. I thought we were going to say it was back in the 80s.
Because I would assume too that $150 on a vacuum is probably cheaper than 2
Oh my God.
airplane
2
tickets.
round trip flights?
You want
Right.
Oh, yeah.
to get a Dyson
I was
today?
saying Dysons
Good
are in
Lord.
the thousands
Right.
of dollars.
But here, why stop at? Why would you just go for 2? I mean, even 1 ticket would have been like a huge boon for
Right.
anybody.
Yeah.
Is it on the Concorde?
I don't know what it was.
No, now that they got it.
I have,
That'd
to,
be
have to reshuffle now. Oh, it was Concorde.
So
sorry.
those are the thoughts. How about you?
Yeah, my thought is that they didn't count on. They're counting on a certain amount of people, probably way less than what actually happened, to buy their Hoover vacuums, which would boost their sales, and allow them to sell all of the stock that they had that they wanted to burn through, and that maybe there was going to be some caveats on the rules for taking the flights where they could, like, they just assume, like, oh, we're actually only going to pay out on like 50% of those flights.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are like not going to be able to take the time, or they have to respond in like a certain amount of time and they don't. But we're not going to have to respond to all 100% of the people who qualify for these
Yeah,
deals.
like the rebates.
Yes, yeah. There's going to be people that miss the deadline, etc. And then so they figured it was financially worth it for them to do.
So
I
what's that? Go ahead.
I think that they bought the vacuum, or got the flights, took the flights, returned the vacuums.
There you go.
That's a pretty interesting twist. I didn't
good
think-
angle,
yeah,
right?
I didn't think about that.
Okay.
So it goes on to say, basically the history of the company had started. 1908 department store janitor named James Murray Spangler, suffering from a mean case of dust allergy, so he designed this hypoallergenic vacuum. So it goes on to say how they had their ups and downs. By the late 80s, the company, under new ownership of Maytag, had expanded beyond vacuums, dominated the British cleaning market. The UK was entering throes of recession. Hoover, US-based company with a large presence in the UK, faced stiff competition. Sexy newcomers like Dyson. In an effort to compete, they rolled out ill-fated products like talking vacuums. Didn't really
Your
work.
house is
Oh,
a
you don't
pigsty.
say. Yeah.
Your carpet is dirty.
That warned people
Hey,
when
dog.
to change the dustbin. It's fun to change the dustbin. If you're a pizzaman, it's time to change the dustbin. So it says between 87 and 92, Hoover's profits fell from 147 million to 74 million. In short order, excess inventory began to pile up. 50% of its market share in England began to dwindle. The old vacuum company needed to do something dramatic and drastic, daring and attention-grabbing. Just the opportunity came along. Absolutely unbelievable. They said in the early months of 1991, when Cory was 4.5, Hoover's UK brand...
That's right.
I was wait a second.
Hoover's UK branch was approached by a tiny, now defunct travel agency called JSI Travel.
No.
Jizz trip?
Just like Hoover, JSI was feeling the squeeze of recession with looking for a new way to offload cheap flights. So they pitched the company a novel idea. Hey, there's a sales promotion where anyone spent more than £100, roughly $250 US,
Nice.
on a Hoover product at a qualifying department store would get 2 free round-trip tickets to any destination from Europe to the US. On paper, it seemed like a win-win. Hoover would sell its excess inventory like boost sales. JSI would sell flights in bulk. Hoover could handle the bookings. Hoover knew that if everyone who had bought the product applied, it'd be in trouble. So it made the process of obtaining these flights as annoyingly time-consuming as possible.
Oh, of course.
1. Customer who buys Hoover product for $250 US, mails in a receipt plus an application within 14 days of purchase. That's number 1. 2. Hoover sends registration form back to the customer. Customer has another 14 days to send it back. That's roadblock number 2. 3. Hoover sends a travel voucher. The customer then has 30 days to select 3 departure airport date and destination combinations. If they don't do that, it's null and void. Number 4. Hoover has the right to reject customers' choices. The customer can only select 3 alternatives. And number 5. Hoover also has the right to reject these alternatives and select 3 combinations of its absolute own choosing. If they don't work, the customer's completely out of luck. Hoover advertised the promotion heavily in newspapers and TV commercials. As you can see here, 2 free flights with Hoover at Comet. Absolutely unbelievable. By late 1991, Hoover products were flying off the shelves and the company's sales projections were back on track. Then Hoover made a fatal mistake. It decided to double down. The transatlantic disaster. November 1st, 1982, Hoover expanded its free ticket offer to include flights to the U.S., because apparently they were initially to just the U.K. Under its new promotion, that same $250 Hoover purchase could net a UK-based customer 2 free round-ticket flights to New York, Orlando, a package worth like $750 US or $1,400 US today. When Hoover ran this plan by risk management professionals, the company was warned that it would be an absolute disaster. Quote, "To me it made no logical sense," recalled Mark Kimber, one of the consultants. Having looked at the details of the promotion and attempting to calculate how it would actually work, I declined to even offer risk management coverage. Unfortunately, Hoover chose to ignore his advice, still go forward, and decide to proceed mainly based on 2 fatal assumptions. 1, only a small fraction of purchases would actually jump through these hoops necessary to redeem these flights. And number 2, customers would spend far more than the $250 minimum, offsetting the cost. So it said initially things were going according to plan. Department stores all over the UK became an uncivilized scene as thousands of people clamored to buy the cheapest Hoover products they could find. Right. In the middle of recession, shops were selling out of the 119-pound vacuum cleaners, and Hoover had to put its factories on 7-day overtime shifts to keep up with the demand. The world had gone mad. And it is all the fault of Hoover, wrote the Observer a month into the promotion. If left uncontrolled, Britain could soon be knee-deep in Hoover Turbomaster uprights. But as paying customers would soon find out, this deal was something of an illusion. We don't want blood, we want tickets. As free flight entries ballooned, Hoover began to realize that it had made a terrible mistake. Sales and entries in the free flight promotion soon outspaced Hoover's projections by 10 times. An estimated 300,000 people bought qualifying products. 600,000 flights that Hoover would potentially have to pay for. And to the contrary to its projections, customers were not spending significantly more than their $250. the math was definitely concerning. On the sale of a 119-pound vacuum cleaner, Hoover made a profit of $30.
Oh my god.
The 2 free flights came with it were worth at least 600 pounds, which would be about $1,500 US. Oops. This meant that each customer who followed through with the promotion cost Hoover 570 pounds, roughly $1,000.
Damn.
Though the company generated about 30 million pounds in gross sales from the promotion, the cost of the flights was conservatively estimated to be more than 100 million pounds. So, at a loss of, 70 million pounds? Hoover began doing everything it could to fleece customers out of the free flights. It claimed thousands of customers had failed to correctly fill out forms. It wrote back offering flights that departed from airports hundreds of miles away from customers' homes. And it said it sent out request forms on Christmas Eve, hoping mail closures would cause people to miss the 14-day deadlines and then back out. So it said customers who had actually followed all these rules were told that their letters had gone missing, or they'd been failed to spot some arbitrary deadline buried in the fine print. The whole idea was to dissuade customers from going, because each time they go, it costs Hoover so much money, one Hoover exec had told the participating travel agency. News soon broke out that not a single flight had been granted, and thousands of angry customers began taking action. One of them, Harry Sinchi, formed Hoover Holiday Pressure Group, a coalition to hold the Hoover accountable for what they'd promised, swelling up to more than 4,000 members, doctors, lawyers, pig farmers, and electricians.
Pig
Fucking
farmers.
pig farmers.
Yeah, you wanna-
We don't want blood, Sinchi said in a statement. We want tickets. In June of 1993, 42-year-old Dave Dixon took a more dramatic measure. Angered that he hadn't received his free flight, he decided to hold a Hoover delivery van hostage in his driveway in Walkington, England. It remained blockaded by his horse truck for 13 days until a high court in England finally ordered its release.
That's the most British thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
that's crazy. At this crisis,
Oh, God.
made international headlines, Hoover attempted to shift blame towards a handful of executives, the airlines and travel agencies they partner with. It fired the president of its UK division along with 2 other senior marketing executives involved in the promotion, and announced a plan to invest £20 million into Free Flights Fund. But these maneuvers hardly put a dent in the back end of the unfulfilled offer. So it's going to go on for a lot longer. But I think we get the gist.
I think so.
Horrible, horrible idea.
Good summarization there, Nick. Jesus.
That was great. I'm glad I sent you that one.
Yeah, that was good.
I didn't know we were supposed to read the whole goddamn article.
Well, no, he just kind of got on a roll, but
Right.
there was accents involved. He was very heavily invested in the story. Couldn't turn out any better.
We got to the point of the story. I don't know what happened.
What happened?
Made the
Wait a
Cheetos.
minute.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
What happened? He went home with naked Cheetos and put
Comedy gold, Nick.
Cajun something on it. That's not a recipe. He didn't come up with this.
Chili
Yeah,
powder.
but he didn't come up with it.
But you didn't even know that.
I don't know about you, but I could watch these 2 bicker all.
And I'll bicker right back. There was no point to that article that you sent me.
See, I think
how long
Danielle's
Like,
getting
oh.
she's getting too complacent with Cory going, yes.
He gave me this hamburger patty.
And now
it
Jill's
was
like,
plain.
oh,
I
no,
went
baby,
home and
we're
put
going.
ketchup on
We're
it.
going.
Woo, new recipe. No.
But you
not
couldn't
new
even
recipe.
find that in the article. I had to Google it.
Okay, so I strolled past that little three things
There's no stroll.
right above
There's
the
no stroll.
right above the corn. Okay, so I missed that. But it's not like a groundbreaking. He didn't come up with this recipe. He poured some hot shit on some bear shit, and there we go. Latinos are happy. Jesus. Sorry, Nick. Or Bob.
You gonna let him have the last word, Danielle?
Yeah.
No, I said chili powder again.
Whatever. And chili powder has nothing to it, right?
Spice.
No, nothing.
Well, like I said, if this person was Latino, they might have been talking about chile, like dried chiles,
Whatever.
which could be any kind of pepper, which could potentially be very hot. That's great.
Right.
Didn't find out
But
because he had such a good.
it's not so much a flavor; it's just a spice. All you did was take this and add heat to it.
Yeah, I don't
So
think
it's like
was,
taking.
But spice adds flavor.
It's like taking. No, it doesn't. It adds heat. You took scrambled eggs and put hot shit on it, and you have hot scrambled eggs.
Well,
you don't have
Nick,
flavor bursts.
do you know how much
scrambled
money
eggs.
I
It's
would
not
pay
French onion
to
scrambled
sit
eggs.
in on a first date between Joe and Danielle?
It wouldn't last very long.
No,
with him
I would've walked
shitting
down
over
hours
everything
ago.
she said.
Yeah, but
Shit.
see, I would respectfully disagree that there are some peppers and chilies that have flavor and
Nick, you're looking too much into it.
no, like jalapenos. You can tell when jalapenos are in something
Oh yeah, absolutely.
by the flavor of it.
You know how the original nacho recipe came up
I feel like
in
it's
Mexico?
not really.
It was a tortilla that they cut up and fried, put a jalapeno on it and some melted cheddar cheese. That's a nacho? That's nothing. That is plain. All it is heat and cheese
I'm not arguing
and
about
chips.
that, Joe.
It
Right?
doesn't mean
Can't wait
it's
for
not
the- I can't
delicious.
wait for the Joe Guido podcast.
This is not some like crazy recipe.
Why
this
do
guy
you
came
need
up
it to be crazy? If people like it, people like it. End of story.
How a guy came up with flaming hot Cheetos. Oh, they're plain. I'm gonna add heat to
Well,
them.
clearly-
Hey, flaming hot Cheetos.
Clearly, no one Frito-Lay had thought about that before.
Yeah,
until he
it
did.
got-
No,
what?
they didn't.
He
I'm
went to the bank
not
with it
knocking
too,
him for
so-
that, but this is not like a recipe. This was not like he when he was done janitoring, he went into the lab
janitoring?
and came up
Janitoring.
you know, whatever. And he came up, he worked hours on this thing. He went home, poured some shit on the plain Cheetos, and that's it.
But nowhere-
the
That's
problem.
all it was.
Here's the problem. Nobody at Frito-Lay probably thought of this.
No, I'm not
But-
saying they didn't.
Perhaps
It was a good
in
idea.
different country, maybe at Le Frito, they had thought of it.
And nowhere in that article
At Frito
did it say.
France.
La Frito.
Nowhere in the article did it say he made a recipe for it. It just said how he came up with flaming hot Cheetos.
But he didn't come up with it.
Yes, he did.
He just
It was non-existent beforehand.
Okay.
I would pay so much.
plain Cheetos, cinnamon sugar. Hey, we got cinnamon Cheetos. He didn't come up with anything. He just
you might
happened to
take that
dump
to
it on.
Frito-Lay because
Right?
they don't have those. So. Exactly.
Schnozzcast.
Don't shit on people's parade,
I
man.
think you just
Motherfucker
inadvertently
stole my
invalidated
idea.
everything you
Exactly.
You could
You
call
did exactly.
You could call them Churritos.
Oh, look at that. The Podbean
Oh,
line
but
is blowing up with.
that's not a recipe
what?
though. Can't just add something. Doesn't make it a recipe.
just like, hey Joe, go fuck yourself. It's a great idea. Or
People all of a sudden leaving the room because they have to go take care of this idea that you just gave them.
Yeah, look at left.
That's,
And actually, one of the people that left, I can tell that I can't speak the language, but that is a Taiwanese name. You
Right.
can just tell by looking at it. Look at
Steve.
didn't I say exactly that?
which one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We wouldn't have gotten past
clearly, because I
appetizers.
didn't
I would
understand
have fucking. We wouldn't have gotten. We wouldn't even have ordered appetizers.
I
would've
don't do
fucking walked out.
appetizers.
Well, you get.
Wait, well, hold on. Why don't you do appetizers?
No, I'm like I was just saying on the first date. I was like, I don't do appetizers on the first. I wouldn't have
No,
done it.
I would have left
Why
long
not?
before the appetizers.
What
I
do
just
you-
never did.
What is the rationale?
I
Well, from Danielle's a lady, so in case there's a kiss, she wants to be.
that's not me.
Can I even order a garlic knot for thick?
Oh, hold on though.
Let me tell you, though, she didn't get an appetizer, but ate a whole pizza.
Oh.
And White Castle.
Oh.
Wait a minute, yeah, appetizers. White Castle.
Kidding.
Oh, I was like, I didn't eat pizza on our first date, weirdo.
Even though two things on a woman's breath that really gets you going on a first date:
I
We
don't
can
even-
argue
beer
this.
or White Castle. If she tastes like White Castle, ooh,
She's a keeper. Is that what you're saying?
oh yeah.
Oh
Wait.
I say.
Even if you just asked to a girl on your first date, do you like White
are
Castle? She says
endlessly
yes.
fascinating,
Oh my
sir.
god. If she likes White Castle, that is,
Not just
To
likes White
every
Castle,
guy.
as you said.
Has it on her
tastes
breath.
like White Castle.
well, day before White Castle or same day
Oh.
White Castle? Exactly.
I say while we're on this high note, we'll take a break.
Yeah, I think we're about that
Wow.
time. This has been fascinating.
We'll wrap it up.
When we come back, can we do like part 2 of the Joe and Danielle first date?
Damn
Well,
right.
hey,
Battle
are we
Royale.
wrapping it up? Are we taking a break? Or
Take a break.
Because it's
It's already 10:30.
Oh, sorry. We were wrapping up for good? That's fine.
I mean, we did.
We can do a shortened cast. We started late. We do have somewhere.
Think about this bickering because this is
Totally up
good
to you
stuff.
guys. I'm
It
good with
is.
whatever.
These guys just
I'm
sit
not
here.
Well, I
mad
think
about it.
No, I know,
normally
this is good stuff.
With the momentum that we have right now, we would go forward, but we did say
No,
we're gonna
we
be somewhere.
generally we would continue to go until we had nothing left to say, and then we'd go another 15 minutes.
Right.
So,
But we did say we're going to be somewhere, you know. So let's go up there, and we'll just do a short cast tonight.
okay.
And
But we're gonna have to put all our eggs in that basket for episode 50.
absolutely,
Next week.
well, we're
It's a lot of
we have
eggs.
to. It's episode 50.
Right.
So yeah, episode 50. We can go on. We'll make sure there's nothing else going on that night.
Yep.
We can go on and on.
Okay. Fair enough.
How many eggs are we dealing with?
All right,
Many-
for the
many
Schnozzcast,
eggs.
3 dozen.
I'm Nick.
too many eggs.
Good night, everybody.
This is Bob. Good night, everybody.
This is Cory. Good night. Joe, nothing? Okay.
From my cold, dead hands, you'll pry these earmuffs away from my head.
We're going in the wee
See you in
morning
episode
hours.
50, everybody. Thank you.
See you next time.
See ya.